Hi guys, welcome to this video where I will go through how we can debug a Node.js app in VS Code. So this is something that you probably want when you develop a Node.js app. Debugging is an essential tool and everyone needs it at some point. So VS Code has very good tooling for this, and I want to show how we can set that up in a very quick way. But before that, I want to spin up an Express.js app quickly and create a simple API endpoint, and then attach the VS Code debugger to it. So we have 3 steps, but I will go through some of that. So let's just start off by creating an app. And for that, I will open the terminal and I will use what's called Express Generator to generate an Express app, because it takes some time to just add the packages. So this does this for us very quickly. So I will first and foremost check if I have Express installed, and I do. So this is the Express Generator. And now if I want to add an app, I can quickly do it. By the way, if you don't have this package, you can globally install it by writing npm I for install and then the flag G, so global express generator, and this will install it globally on your machine, and then you can simply generate apps quickly. So I will generate an app which I will name my app like this, and when I press enter, it spins it up for me and it creates a bunch of things. And we also see that we have a folder right now and it says change directories. I will first and foremost change my directory to that folder, and I will also have to install all the dependencies. And before I do that, while I do it, I can just open the folder and show you guys what we actually get. So we don't get much, we get basic packages. And if we open the app.js, which is the essential file, we see that we have a bunch of dependencies and we have 2 routes that basically come with the whole thing out of the box. And we also see that we get some view engine setup. This I'm not interested in because I won't use views in that sense. I actually don't prefer using views in this way because I think that your backend should be separated from your front end. So if you want to create a front end, a UI, then basically you can create endpoints, APIs with Node.js, which will communicate with your front end. So you don't really need this. You don't need to send HTML from the server in that sense. At least that's not the way I like to develop things. So I'll remove this. Also, I have 2 routes here. So I have /users, and this is the one that we will focus on. And here we have basically some error handling, which comes by default. So the next step for me right now will be to add a package which is called NodeMon. And what NodeMon does is that it simply listens to any changes and restarts the server when a change is made. And the reason why this is so useful is because without it, you would have to restart the server manually, which is quite annoying. At least that's how I look at it. So I find it to be much smoother if you have NodeMon. So let's just add a NodeMon like this. It takes some time. So now NodeMon is installed, and if I go to the package.json, I can see it right here. So this is great. And now I also have to modify the start script. So in the npm scripts, here you have the scripts object and you have start, and here you want to say NodeMon and you want to run the app.js file and save the package.json file. Also, let's save the app.js file. And let's try running npm start now. Let's see what happens. So we see that we get a clean exit, meaning that nothing really happens. It's everything is running correctly, so we get no errors, which is great. And one thing that I've noticed, and maybe you've noticed it too, is that they're using var, and I don't like that, so it's quite old to me, so I like const. And I also want to add a listener, so under the app, I want to listen to a specific port, and that port will be 3000, because I know that it's an available port on my local machine, and I want to listen to that port, so I will specify the port, and here we have a callback, and all I want to do is console log the port. So I will say server running at port, and then just print out the port. So now hopefully we see it. So here we see that the server is running at port 3000. This is awesome. So now let's just focus on the API endpoint which I mentioned. So this is the user's route. Let's go to that. So F12. It brings me to this route, and here I can basically mock a list of users. So I will create an array with called users like this, and it's an array of objects. So I will just mock some data here. Like this. And I will duplicate that 3 times, so we have 3 users. This will be Bob, he's also an admin, and the third one will be John, and he is not an admin. So these are the 3 users right now, and I will send the users, but I will also return it, and I also want to return a status code of 200. And it's basically a default HTTP status code. So 200 usually means success. And yes, since this should run, there's nothing weird about it. It's just returning a list. It shouldn't be any problem. So 200 is appropriate for that. And now I think I have all I need for this API. So this is actually an API now, which I can hit with my client here. So I will be using Postman to do the API request. So I will type localhost 3000/users. I will also zoom this in a little bit so you can see it. Like this. I hope you see it now. So if I click on send, we actually get this array. So we get the array back. This is great because it shows that the API is working. But now here comes the interesting part. So this is where we want to debug it. So usually what you do in VS Code is you press F5. You select a breakpoint, like I want to debug this array. I want to see what's happening with it for some reason. And you can press F5. But as you see, it really doesn't do anything. So if I click on Node.js, nothing really happens. So we need to do something about this. And it actually says that you have to create a launch JSON file. So I'll just click on it, and I will choose Node.js. And here I need to do some configuration. So I want to do a couple of things. So the first thing is that I want to change the type to node. That's one thing I want to do. So I'll say node. I also want to say launch my awesome node app. And we're also missing another property. I'll just paste it in right now. So it's the CWD, and it's looking, it wants to know where is the actual app. So since I opened this from the code folder, if we look at the folder structure, we know that the actual workspace is the code folder. It's called code, but the node app is in the my app folder. So I need to navigate to that or specify that path. So I will write /my app like this. And also I want to have the runtime executable property. So runtime executable property, which is npm in my case. And the last thing is the runtime args, so the arguments, and that is run script. So basically I want to run an npm script. I want to run a npm script, and I also want to run the script start. So this is the script that I want to run. So if I close this now that it's available in the VS Code folder, .vs code folder with the launch.json, I already have the breakpoint. So if I run F5, hopefully it will detect it and it will try to run it. But we will notice one thing, and that is that it crashes because it's trying to use a port which is already in use. And if you remember, I already have my server spinning here in the terminal. So I need to close that because my debugger wants to use it. So I will just, actually, I don't need to do anything because it's waiting for something to change. I'll just save the file and hopefully this will run now. So now it's running, like my debugger is running it. This is awesome, and I have the breakpoint. So if I go to Postman and I click on send, so I want to do another request. Now you see that something is happening here. So it's actually hitting that breakpoint, which is great. So now we actually can see what we have. So we can see the request object, for instance. We see we have nothing here. We don't have a body. So we just sent an empty request without a body. We can see some info about the request. And also if I step over that with the F10, I can also see the array, and I can see the objects in the array. So yeah, I mean, this is great. This is a great tool to use. And I think that you basically need this tool in any type of Node.js development, because debugging, as I mentioned, is a crucial thing in any application. And even though you try to make your code as good as possible, you can't really escape the fact that you will have bugs in your code. So debugging is an essential tool for any developer, and I hope you guys found this video useful. To me, this was a thing I had to research a lot because I really wanted this tool in my Node.js apps. And now that I've learned how to set this up quickly, it's been a great tool for me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.